Let us consider a coal power plant which is connected to a grid. During the generation itself, in the non-renewable energy sources, 40 to 50% of the energy will be wasted. Thereby, it is connected to a transmission lines. So now let's see about the transmission losses. The energy, it will go to transmission. So in a transmission line, during on a long distance through transmission lines, 100 of mile across the country, call it as a transmission. Has electricity flows through cables, it heats them up, which we call it as a sag. Due to sag and other parameters like heating, transmission losses accounts for about 10 to 12%. At their point, from generation to transmission, almost 62% of energy would be wasted. Before going into distribution, almost in the generation and transmission phase only, almost 60 to 70% would be wasted. Now comes to distribution part. So then comes the distribution, which is small low voltage power lines. It is almost 6 to 8% of the energy have been lost. So it may be distribution means it would be connected to a fridge, or it may be in a home appliances or a transformer in order to blow up the energy from one level to another. So overall about 60 to 70% is lost through non-renewable energy source, which when it reaches to a home from power grid. So what is the solution for this? As you all seen, through generation, transmission and loss, so which is unimaginable. So for finding out the solution for this problem, I gone through the many literature surveys. It's around 300 innovations in the with the different publications like Springer, elsewhere, IEEE and something. And the main authors which I found out was Turner, which described the shortage in fossil fuels, ecological concerns, and pursuits across the increasing diffusion of a renewable energy source. And Sikabat used individual storage designed using supercapacitor model, means after the renewable energy source, which is the main part of the battery for charging and discharging, in order to control the both load side and generation side. After that, it will go for Trifkovic, which is the main author also. He derived a control model for energy management of a standalone hybrid scheme. And Merabat means he mainly describes about the enable controlling EMS control. Authors applied a programming logical control and control algorithms with RES was developed to enable efficient EMS. And L. Wang designed a large-scale lithium-ion batteries energy storage situation and found it better alternative for hybrid energy system containing wind PV combinations. But latest in the past 2 years, the main researchers which contributed for the renewable energy sources, when I analyzed, about 33 innovations made related to hybrid renewable energy source, which have grasped the attention of researchers, research scholars and scientists. Now, let's understand the objectives of a research. First objective is to identify and analyze the best hybrid renewable energy system among the different renewable energy sources like solar energy, wind energy, hydrogen energy, ocean energy, hydropower, geothermal power, bioenergy. Combination of these different renewable energy sources makes the combination of this different renewable energy system makes this system to be fit for a particular environment. For example, in the islands like normal fields, it is solar energy, wind energy is the most pumping. So based on the location which suits the most renewable energy sources, that is to be identified and picked up and make the hybrid system. Second is to identify the latest promising techniques for optimization of hybrid RES. Means optimization of a hybrid RES means in order to control the charging and discharging of a power, in order to meet the non-linear power generation and a fluctuation in the load side. So you have to identify the latest promising techniques. And finally, it is the tuning of PID and FOPD PID parameters using best evolutionary algorithms. Means here the PID and FOPID parameter, it is in my controller. So this PID and FOPID parameters is controlled using the different evolutionary algorithm approaches, because this different evolutionary algorithm approaches after tuning the PID and FO parameter is in turn control the battery. Means controlling the charging and discharging of a battery means it is nothing but a controlling of the generations, the non-linear power generation side, and any fluctuations in the load side. So I came across one tentative model. So here the tentative model consists of a wind turbine and a solar. So wind turbine and solar is connected to a controller. You can see from this graph. So here wind turbine is connected to a wind controller and solar power is connected to a solar controller. Thereby it is connected to a battery bank. After the battery bank, it is connected to an inverter into AC load. Here inverter is used in order to convert from DC to AC, because battery storage is almost a, if there is any non-linear power generation in the generation part, or if there is any spikes in the load side, then automatically what will happen with the help of a controller, means controller consists of a PID, FOPID, which I will explain you in the later part. So or any fluctuation in the load side, automatically it will be tackled by the controller, and the controller will gives the communication to a battery bank. So thereby charging and discharging takes place through the battery bank, and the fluctuation will be controlled. So this is the main cause. But here one thing we should observe: any fluctuation in the load side or a generation side, it will be controlled to a controller, right? So the controller consists of a feedback path. It is nothing but a PID, FOPID, something controllers we can use it. But so if we design the controller efficiently, we can control the output side as well as the input side. So now let's go to research methodology. So my research methodology is: first I selected the best locations, and I have selected the two best locations. One is Hospet and another is Belgaum. So when I analyzed in the Hospet, the solar radiation found to be 5.33 kilowatt hour per meter square per day, and wind speeds found to be 3.68 meter per second, and load estimation found to be 164 kilowatt hour per day. So here you can observe I have calculated the load demand in the villages near the Hospet and Belgaum. Means villages means I have taken as a schools, churches, temples, and offices, local offices, which consumes a 164 kilowatt hour per day. If we take it up entire village also, so I have taken the load demand officially. After which I gone through simulated the system with the different components, means with the diesel generator also I simulated, and evaluated the best hybrid system, and with the mathematical modeling also. After which I had gone through optimization of the hybrid system by tuning PID and FOPID parameters using different evolutionary algorithms. So as I told you earlier, here we have seen a model which is TBIG, turbine, battery, inverter, and a grid. So here entire thing will depend upon a controller. A controller controls means everything, means output and input both will be controlled. So here the controller, my main controller consists of a PID and FOPID parameters. So with the help of a PID and FOPID parameter tuning, I will be controlling both battery and output and input. Means PID and FO parameter tuned through the battery, which in turn will be controlled output and input. So this PID and FO parameter PID is tuned by the evolutionary algorithms. So now let's understand the economic analysis. Normally, for 5 to 6 people in a home will consume a daily of about 960 watt hour or 1 kilowatt hour maximum in a villages per day. So if we calculate for 1000 to 2200 people in a village, it almost consumes of 160 to 170 kilowatt hour per day. In the country like India, normally 160 to 170 kilowatt hour per day will be consumed by 1000 to 1200 people. So as per that data, I made an estimation. So you can observe here 165.44 kilowatt hour per day will be estimated in a Hospet, and for this 165 kilowatt you can see in the downside, so which is about 22.25 per kilowatt hour, and in the Belgaum also you can analyze it is 29.54. So whenever you see any data, the cost of energy of hybrid renewable energy source or renewable energy is found to be 20 to 30 rupees only. So understand, for every kilowatt hour it will found to be 30 rupees only. So for 1 kilowatt hour it is 30 rupees means, and the net present cost means whatever your installment charges and everything, it will be 8 lakh rupees. 8 lakh rupees per kilowatt hour. So figure it can be observed that for per kilowatt hour maximum amount we can get is 20 to 30 rupees only, and simple payback period is 3 to 4 years. Whatever the investment which you have putted, we will get back within a 4 years. So that is confirmed by the simulation software and a mathematical modeling also. So now let's see what is controllers. So here told you I am using the PID and FOPID controller. So in order to understand what is PID controller, which is proportional, integral, and a derivative. So one thing I will tell you, PID controller is used whenever you want to maintain a constant rate, or then I used to go for a PID controller. So in normal stage also again it tries to push back into a higher stage, thereby it will try to maintain the constant rate which is around constant 60 degrees Celsius. So in order to understand it more fruitfully, let's see one simple diagram. So here you can observe, I'm giving one sterilization or something else. So here you can observe, I want to maintain the temperature in this box which is around 90 degrees Celsius. So I am maintaining the temperature with this setup box, which is nothing but you can take it as a control loop, which I maintained, which is a 90 degrees Celsius. So when I maintain this 90 degrees Celsius, automatically what will happen, you can observe how it is flowing from one point to another point, and it is through the feedback path. So whatever, whenever it tries to 90 degrees Celsius means first in the initial part it will try to increase it to the maximum, means again it pulls back to 85. Again if it is 85 means below the threshold limit, means again it will try to increase to the 90 to 92, 93, 94, like again it pulls back, and initially in the rise time, peak time, after that it will goes to a settling time, which it tries to maintain the constant temperature of 90 degrees Celsius in the sterilization box. So the PID controller, PID controller is used in order to maintain the constant temperature, pressure or system like. So now let's see what is fractional order PID controller. So the main difference between the PID controller and a fractional PID controller, I told you PID controller is used in order to maintain the constant temperature, pressure, flow, etc. But here fractional PID controller is something different than that of a PID controller, because in a fractional PID controller it has a more degrees of freedom. So what is the degrees of freedom means? So you can observe in the previous PID controller as having 3 degrees, means actually PID, okay, kp, ki, kd. So one is proportional, another is integral, and another is a derivative. But in fractional order PID controller it has a more degrees of freedom, which is nothing but a lambda and a nu, and it is less sensitive to change of parameters. So you can observe here, what is this less sensitive to change of parameters mean? Whatever you have observed in kp, ki, kd, it will take only a integer value, it will not take fractional value. Means for example 164.54 means it will take as 164 in the PID controller, but in the fractional order PID controller it tries to take entire thing, which is around of 3 decimal points, up to 3 decimal points it will try to change, means 164.541 like. So after that it will goes to a can adjust the dynamic parameters and works on a fractional value, so which is having a better efficiency. So I used evolutionary algorithm for both PID controller and FOPID controller. So still now we have seen what is controllers means. So still now we have seen PID controller and a fractional PID controller, but main thing is we want to tune this PID parameters or FOPID parameters so that we can control the charging and discharging of a battery, which is the main criteria in this part. So in order to control this PID and FOPID parameters, I am using the evolutionary algorithms. So first I will go through the genetic algorithm. So here you can observe the word itself tells what is evolutionary algorithm. Evolutionary means, so here evolutionary means evolving, means learning from the past experience, or learning step by step from each generation, or learning as per the experience goes on. So now let's understand different algorithms based on this. So now let's come to experience. So now I will create one human, okay, which is consists of a hands, legs, head and everything. So I will create one human skeleton. After that I will simulate it through the genetic algorithm, so that I want it to work from one point to another. Let's see how it will be happening. So now let's create a human skeleton, okay. So you can see I am creating a legs. So you can see I am creating hands, and now I go for the legs. So now you can see here it is nothing but a. So now you can see here, when I created the human skeleton, it is nothing but a selection part. So after the selection, I will make it to simulate through a genetic algorithm, which is nothing but a crossover and a mutation. So with the help of all this skeleton, which a point we have given and made a joint through which it makes it a crossover and a mutation, and it. So in genetic algorithm, in the top side you can observe, for every generation through crossover and a mutation, it tries to learn from the past experience. So in the every evolution, so in the sense in the every generation it tries to learn from the past. So as learning goes on, as the generation goes on takes place, it tries to be fit as much as possible. Selection. So same way I applied this evolutionary algorithm, this genetic algorithm, in order to tune the PID and FOPID parameters. So when I tune this PID and FOPID parameters, I found to be objective function which is 691.36 and a settling time which is 2177.634 seconds. So one thing I would like to tell you, whatever settling time is there, especially 2177.634 seconds. Settling time means it takes that much of time in order to maintain the constant rate, or in order to maintain the error as a 0. 86. Now we think you can think of objective functional value. So what is this objective functional value? And so it means objective function means how much error it tries to reduce in some amount of time. It is nothing but an objective functional value. So now let's understand what is particle swarm optimization. So in genetic algorithm, you may be observe through selection, means selection of a bones. After that, it will through crossover and a mutation. It tries to walk, and it tries to it tries to evolve as much as possible in every generation through the crossover and a mutation part. But in the particle swarm optimization, there is no selection, or there is no crossover, or there is no mutation. So it tries to, means the only thing is, but in particle swarm optimization, it flies through a search problem space by following current optimum particles. So now let's see, you can see here I am clicking the mouse at a different point of time. So as I click a different point, the particles will try to follow that path only, will try to come to that point which I am clicking the mouse. So this is what is called as a particle swarm optimization, but it depends upon the distance, velocity. But for in my case, it is one of the most fittest algorithm compared to all the other algorithms, because it, see, you can observe here how it will be, how the particles will try to interact at a particular point when I click on the particular mouse, and it tries to follow the path which means it tries to follow the path of the previous particles which is already flowing. So this is one of the most fittest algorithm. Has in my case, when I compiled evolutionary algorithm with a PSO PID controller, my objective function it found to be 588.733, and its settling time is found to be 2261. But in case of FOPID, it found to be 494 and 58,750. You can observe in the PSO FOPID and PID controller, objective function is found to be 494, means 494, which is the minimum objective function value compared to PID parameters. So now let's understand what is flower pollination algorithm. It is to produce the optimal reproduction of a plant by surviving the most fittest flower in the flowering plant. So you can observe here, this is the plant. For example, let's say I'm showing you, this is the plant which is a pistil, and ovary is there, and it is the main part, body of the plant, it's called as a style. So now you can see, observe, this is the pollen tube, and this is the most fittest flower in the flowering point, and through reproduction it tries to survive, and all the other co-plant it tries to vomit it, and this only will left out, and means through reproduction it tries to increase to another flowering point, means it is inspired of the pollination process of a flowers. So now let's understand what is hyperspherical search. Hyperspherical search algorithm hopefully converges to a state at which there exists only hypersphere center. So you can observe this is a hypersphere center, and its particles are at the same position and have the same cost function value as the hypersphere center. So with the help of R minimum and R maximum values, and with the help of some mathematical modeling, it tries to be at the center sphere, so which is called as a hypersphere center, and its particles are at also the same position. So you can observe from here, with the help of R minimum and R maximum in a three axis coordinator, it tries to be as much as is the central part. So it finds out the best solution particles in the hyperspherical search, means in the search space only, means it tries to find out the best possible solution in the hyperspherical search space only. So with the help of this hyperspherical solution, when I tuned with the PID parameters, the function value it found to be 588.133, and settling time it found to be 2073. But in case of HSS algorithm, it found to be 654 and 58,960. Means compared to FOHSS algorithm, HSS with a PID gives me the best solution with a minimum objective function value of 588.1. So still now you have seen genetic algorithm, particle swarm optimization, flower pollination algorithm, and hyperspherical search. So overall, you can observe here the entire 4 algorithms. We can find the particle swarm optimization with a fractional order PID controller, objective function value of 494.148 gives one of the most possible in order to increase the stability, reliability, efficiency, and to decrease the cost effectiveness. So let's see how tuning PID and FOPID parameter will increase the stability, reliability and efficiency. So as I told you, first it will start and this will goes to a evolutionary algorithm. Means evolutionary algorithm will tune the parameters of a KP, Ki and KD. For example, I am showing you one evolutionary algorithm, how it will be tuned like. So you can see evolutionary algorithm will be tuning KP, Ki and KD. So once it is optimized, it will go to a end part. So if it is not optimized, means again it will compute the minimum optimum function. So again it will be repeated, the process will be repeating again and again. Still KP, Ki and KD is optimized. So after optimization, then what is the next part? So after optimization, it will be this KP, Ki and KD parameters are, and this controller will be connected to a battery bank. So with the help of PID and FOPID parameters, charging and discharging of a battery will takes place. So I think now you understand what my controller consists of. The main part is my controller consists of a evolutionary algorithm with PID and FOPID parameters, and this PID and FOPID parameters is tuned with the help of evolutionary algorithm, 4 different evolutionary algorithm, and this PID and FO, based on the PID parameter and FOPID parameters tuning, the charging and discharging of a battery will take place, and through the charging of discharging of a battery, any fluctuation in the load side or a non-linear power generation in the generation side, it will be tackled. So overall, when I see the PID parameters only I am talking about. So overall, when I see the evolutionary algorithm with a PID controller, the minimum objective function is found to be 588.133 from HSS algorithm. Means HSS algorithm is one of the best algorithm in tuning the PID parameters to hybrid renewable energy system. Only in I am talking about a PID parameters. But when it comes to an FOPID parameters, and it found to be PSO algorithm, but when it comes to FOPID parameters, minimum objective function found to be particle swarm optimization, which is 494.148. So in the FOPID parameters, 494.148 is the most minimum objective function value. So now let's compare the PID and FOPID parameters. So in PID parameters, HSS algorithm is one of the best algorithm, and in FOPID parameters, PSO is one of the best algorithm. So if we compare these two algorithm and when comparing, if we find out the minimum objective function among these two values, it finds that PSO algorithm is having a minimum objective function of 494.148 with a settling time of 58,750 seconds and rise time of 1902 with a population size of same 50 and a number of iterations same as 100. So overall means, first I selected the best locations, it is Hospet and Belgaum, and I found the solar radiation and a wind speed, and based on the solar radiation and wind speed with the help of a mathematical modeling and simulation software, I found the best hybrid renewable energy system, and through this hybrid renewable energy system I used to control the means for this hybrid renewable energy system, I use the controller which consists of a PID and FOPID controller, and this controller is tuned using evolutionary algorithm approaches. So this evolutionary algorithm is tuned to the PID and FOPID parameters, which in turn is connected to a battery. So by tuning the PID and FOPID parameters, charging and discharging of a battery has been taken place, through which non-linear power generation from the generation side or the fluctuation in the load side has been omitted, and thereby the reliability, stability, efficiency and reduction in the cost effectiveness has been maintained throughout the system, which in turn increases the efficiency of the system. So now my conclusion and a future work which is to be carried out. So my conclusion is, best hybrid renewable energy system is designed and various optimization algorithms are implemented to achieve charging and discharging mechanism of EMS based on the minimum objective function value. The best evolutionary algorithm is evaluated in terms of cost, stability and reliability. Even though study analyzed the best hybrid renewable energy source, still there is a need for further research and development in the hybrid system at remote locations like islands, where there is a huge amount of energy, and also there is a variation in the solar radiation and wind speed requires the additional supply of amount of energy also, I think so. And finally, also there is a need for further research that can reduce the cost of HRS and design other optimization algorithms also in the future use based on the artificial intelligence or machine learning approaches. My entire project. Thank you.